On Fox Sports Chicago, it's the Illinois High School Association Boys Tennis Championships. And welcome once again to Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, along with Corky Layton. I'm Mike Lederman. A beautiful day, a beautiful week, most of the week for the Boys Tennis Championships, a three-day event. Only a little bit of rain on Thursday. Well, it was a big storm, but all the matches got in.
Yeah, a lot of sun here today. It's really hot. The matches here have been tough so far, but it looks like everybody's come through.
We'll take you to both the doubles and singles finals today. The doubles will be first. Both the top seeds have been eliminated. We've got a number 3-4 seed against a 5-8 seed, so things went pretty much as expected. Let's take a look at the Hinsdale Central team first. They are Mark Schaefer, Sumat Bhatt, and these are basketball players who are also tennis players. They're big guys.
Yes, Mike, 6'4" and 6'7". The Hinsdale Central team is huge. Yesterday they had a big win against the 1 seed Fenning and Fitzsimons from Glenbrook South, and they looked tough today. They came back from a set down against Glenbrook North's number 2 team and won it in 3.
Well, they're going to have to be tough because they're facing a team that's beaten them twice already this season. The number 1 team from New Trier, Paget Neve and Mike Barmasol, a couple of seniors who've played together since they were really in short pants, like since they were 5.
Yes, this experience is really going to help. It really helped them out this morning. It's probably going to help them out in this match. They've got the confidence of 2 wins, but then there's a lot less pressure on the Hinsdale Central team and maybe a little bit more on New Trier.
All right, the weather is holding up. The wind is calmed down. We'll bring you the doubles finals in just a minute. There's a look at the crowd, the warm and sunny crowd today at Hersey. And there's a look at Paget Neve from New Trier, his partner, Mike Barmasol, and Sumat Bhatt will serve for Hinsdale Central.
Well, Bhatt's got a big serve, but he double faulted to start off the match. We spoke to his coach, Jay Kramer, and he said it's the one thing that his team had to eliminate if they were going to play well in this match.
Well, they obviously heard Jay, but the wrong way. Love 15. Barnesville with the big overhead at net. Love 30.
Started off by a great return by Paget Neve. Really in there.
Barmasol, a senior. Love 30 here. And a big first serve from Sumat Bhatt.
Taking full advantage of that height. That was a rocket. Barmasol barely got his racket on it.
And again, this time Neve gets to hear from the 6'7" big fella.
Huge serving now. Looks like he's back on track here. Here he is, stretching up.
No.
Reached out, no chance. Well, Barmasol had a great return there. Couldn't get in close enough to close out the volley.
He and Neve are discussing the last point. So Bhatt has come back from love 30, has a game point here. Using it.
Big serve, and Schaefer poached and put the ball away. No chance on that one.
So Hinsdale Central with a comeback off a rocky start takes the first game. Here's the last point, serving Bhatt.
First serve in. Schaefer's on the move. He's up, and it's away.
So Hinsdale Central holds SNIOP. Those of you who are Hinsdale Central fans or have seen a lot of our IHSA telecasts know that that's a school motto. Actually, it comes from susceptible to the negative influences of other people. It's Coach Jay Kramer's idea of a positive message from, I guess, a motivational tape, right? And the team wears those shirts, and basically it tells them you can do whatever you want to do. Now you know what their eye chart T-shirts really mean.
And believe me, if they lose track, they'll hear it from the crowd.
Yeah.
Snap.
Paget Neve will serve for New Trier at love 1.
Great doubles point. Started off by Václav. Neve had to look into the sun to hit that first overhead. Never really got on top of the point. They're on defense. New Trier's on defense here. Pulling Bot wide. There's a backhand overhead. And misses the volley coming back in.
Zips it right through.
Makes
Love
it
15.
That's Neve really closed in well that time. Nice backhand volley down the line.
Good look at Neve. He and Barmasol played in this event last year, got to the quarterfinals, lost to the eventual runners-up. 15 all. And that one,
30-15.
the high percentage from Barmasol.
Well, he picked off the return, and he was there to follow. That's an important thing here because a lot of balls are going to come back from both sides. Also notice the importance of getting your first serve in.
Well, that's perfect doubles play.
A little bit of a mishit from Barmasol, but behind Schaefer. Couldn't turn around and get it.
Well, we say you wrong-footed him, right?
Yeah.
Right there. Right.
There we go.
Right there.
Schaefer goes to the middle, a little too far over.
And we're at 40-15.
First serve long. Nice deep second serve by Paget Neve. Handcuff bot. Couldn't get around on it.
We had a lot of kick on that. It just went right into his body, and we're all even at a game apiece first set. Hinsdale Central to serve. And this is Mark Schaefer.
Boom.
Another big serve.
Yeah, good speed on that one. I think it caught part of the line. That's why Barmasol had trouble getting around on it. Here it is. Very deep. Yeah, off the back of the line. That's why he mistimed his swing.
Back live. Dirty love.
Well, Neve a little late on the contact there and sailed the return, forehand return long.
That's Neve in the foreground, Barmasol. In the background, the deuce court. Schaefer at 30 love.
It's a nice low return from Barmasol. Schaefer got in a little slow that time, popped up the volley wide.
I guess the easiest thing to say in terms of strategy against guys this tall, hit it at their feet, but I think at this level it's a little more subtle. That was a big
serve.
ace.
Big serve. Yeah, it's tough to hit it at their feet. They're moving. They were a little slow in their first match today in the semis, but they're moving in well now, both of these big guys. That's a great serve, wide. Caught knee flat-footed.
Again, a good second serve and a strong service game from Mark Schaefer.
If your second serve's that good. This is a huge second serve. Again, handcuff Barmasol, couldn't get around on it.
We're on serve at 2-1. And there's the Hinsdale Central team, coached by the veteran Jay Kramer. My gosh, what, 37 years as the tennis coach. And they're getting some coaching there from the assistant coach. As we've mentioned, these teams have met twice before during the regular IHSA season. Neve and Barmasol winning both, last time 3-2. So they've had their way with the Hinsdale Central team, but we are at state, we are in the finals, and we also know what that means. Here's Barmasol serving.
Once you get to this level, all the records go away.
If anything, it might be tougher for New Trier, having beaten these guys twice already, to come back and do it a third time. Double fault for Barmasol.
Yeah, expectations are high when you've won twice already.
Good luck.
Okay, lob, 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 but it worked finally. Hinsdale Central took advantage of that last lob and closed in, put the ball away.
Yeah, Neil, Bott really got away with it.
Here's Barmasol's lob, almost right on the line. Schaefer gets it back, and here goes Hinsdale Central up to the net. Closing in tight. Schaefer's there, bounces it over the fence. Nice deep second serve by Michael Barmasol. Bott couldn't get back in time, and Barmasol angled that volley right off the court.
Well, Barmasol now will serve at 15-30. And right down the line with the big forehand from Mark Schaefer.
Yeah, Neve was leaning toward the middle that time, and he got caught leaning the wrong way. Okay, here's the serve. He leans toward the middle, and boom, there goes the ball right by him.
Whoops. So we got a double break point here for Hinsdale Central.
Nice serve by Barmasol. Again, Bott a little late. Tried to come over the top of that one, caught it behind him.
Still a break point here. And the break from Hinsdale Central. Schaefer with the forehand volley.
Really on the attack. He took Barmasol's first volley, comes in behind his return, and he takes Barmasol's first volley right past Neve there. No chance.
So the first service break goes to Hinsdale Central.
And this is how Hinsdale Central got back into their semifinal match this morning. They were down a set, and they came back by playing tough at the net. Just crowd the net. They're tough to lob over, so they can afford to crowd the net.
There is Sumant Bott at 6'7". There's a question on a call, and they're awarding first serve to Bott, and he'll get another one. Barmasol thought the ball was out, but here, of course, lines people make the calls. As opposed to the rest of the season, of course, when you call your own lines in IHSA play.
Another great serve by Bott, handcuffed Barmasol again on the backhand side this time. Couldn't get around on it. He gets to look at a second serve here. Big kick.
Barmasol.
Good reactions, both teams. Hinsdale Central switching back and forth. New Trier closing in to end the point. Okay, Schaefer crosses. Bott's behind him. Barmasol's there to end it.
15 all.
Okay, lob return, good strategy. When your opponents are doing a lot of poaching, you'll see this lob return strategy can be really effective. They put Hinsdale Central back on the defense that time, and New Trier capitalized.
15-30. And the let first service. Another service winner.
Big first serve. He pulled up a little too soon. Didn't get much body behind that return.
Central with a break. Serving 30 all, 3-1. That was wide.
Barmasol got in very quickly behind his return, and Bott got caught behind the service line way too deep to make that last volley. See, Bott's completely out of position there trying to hit that backhand volley.
And it'll be a
Missed it wide.
Service break attempt.
Oh, nice return by
They do
Neve.
it.
Pass Schaefer at the net and right at the feet of Bott. Again, as you were saying before, Mike, you get these tall guys, the important thing is to get the ball at their feet.
Well, we'll show it here as the teams have exchanged breaks.
Okay, here's the return, right at his feet, can't get under the ball. And there's the break point.
Oh, you might.
Game's over.
There may be something to
return,
that
and
strategy, huh?
Neve in there, lots of fire.
So we are back on serve at 2-3 with Nutrier serving. And you see Paget Neve will also bring you the singles championships later on today. And right now the situation is nothing but nice warm temperatures, clear skies. There is supposedly a threat of thunderstorms, but that we hope will hold off until well after these matches have concluded.
Both teams still pretty much feeling each other out. Nobody's made a big push so far. 2 breaks. Neve to serve.
At 2-3, first set.
Good kick on that serve from Neve. Bott had a little trouble getting around on the ball. Again, big kick from Neve, but Schaefer popped it right over Barmasol's head, just kind of nicked it with his racket.
Neve and Barmasol discussing that one. Barmasol, I think, may have gone for something that Neve was going to be able to be in a good position for.
Yeah, mistimed his jump a little bit.
At 15 all.
That first serve trying to pull Bott wide that time. That was close but long.
Just missed the back of the line. So a second serve. And it goes long.
That's a tough lob from midcourt. It's a good idea. Put the sun in the eyes of your opponent, but just a little long.
And the wind is kicking up, which of course will affect the lobs. And we've seen plenty of them so far. 30-15.
Fortunate lead cord there. Ball popped up. Michael Barmasol just ripped that ball before Bott had a chance to recover.
Okay, let's go right here, Simon. Go, Mark. Go, Simon. Snap. Let's go, snap. Let's go.
Neve at 40-15. And they call a foot fault on Paget Neve. Bott really cranked that forehand.
Yeah, again, caught Neve leaning the wrong way, lunged at it, but couldn't get his racket on it. Great shot from Bott. Good low cross court. A lot of spin.
Big hit from Barmasol for the game point. And the Trevians have tied it. First set at 3.
Nice first volley from Paget Neve, set that up. Short lob, and Barmasol into the point.
All right, now we'll see Mark Schaefer serving. And he had an outstanding first service game. An ace and a couple of winners. He the shorter of the team at 6'4".
Long on that one.
Second double fault for Hinsdale Central.
Got that toss a little low, a little too far in front of him, just sailed it out. Not much of a trajectory there. There was another low toss, but he rocketed that one, and Botches couldn't get his racket around to end the point. I mean, this ball was on his racket. So mishit it.
Whoops.
Missed that one.
About 30.
Oh, miss it.
Second double fault in the game, and we've got a triple breaker now against Mark Schaefer.
Well, when the pressure gets high, the servers sometimes try to win the point on their own. I think Mark pulled his head down a little too soon on that one. Again, mishit it. A lot of spin, but he pulled his head down and mishit the serve. Now he's down triple break point. He's got to get refocused here, put that serve in play, get his team back on track.
Yeah, taking the extra time as he serves to an anticipatory Paget Neve.
Spin serve short, I think caught Neve off guard. That was a lot shorter than Neve expected. Because Schaefer has been serving so deep in the court. Here's a real short serve, and Neve's pulling away from it.
You can see he's back on his heels. Still a double breaker.
Oh, that's a great return.
Barmasol from the deuce court.
Great return, and Schaefer just didn't get in. He was in the middle of the backcourt when he tried to hit that volley.
Well, second breaker for New Trier, and now they have a 4-3 lead on the serve. We'll take a look at their road to the finals, and they have been challenged on the road to this final match. The semifinal against Bennett Academy, of course, they dropped the first set at 6-2, and then came back to win 3 and 4 before that. Matches against the number 2 Hinsdale Central team, and then O'Fallon had to go 3 sets there. And earlier, Deerfield, Schaumburg, and York. Not too much of a problem as they got through the early rounds for Paget Neve and Mike Barmasol. As we told you, these two guys grew up together. They've played sports together. They have different tennis coaches, though, in their club pros. But they probably are as familiar with each other as any doubles team at this level could be. And here is Mike Barmasol to serve at 4-3 with a break. Right on the line.
That's great touch. Real risky play by Mark Schaefer, but great touch. Half volley lob over the net man.
Love 15.
Nice spin on that serve by Barmasol. Schaefer came over it a little too much, dropped it in the net.
We'll show you that here.
Here's this deep serve, and a little close and over the top too much.
Get it into the body, and it's tough to fight off.
Yeah.
Second serve coming here for New Trier. And that one way missed by a zip code.
Yeah, Barmasol chased a bad ball toss there. I know he wanted to have that one back. The wind kicked up just as he released it, and he just chased it into the court, sailed it long.
His second double fault of this match, so he and Paget Neve are talking things over.
In spite of the fact that they're up break, there's still a lot of pressure here.
And now they'll have a little more pressure with 2 break points again.
Break point. Barmasol got into the net quick that time, but just caught the top of the tape with that volley.
Good opportunity for Hinsdale here. And Sumat Bhatt will get to see the second serve of Mike Barmasol. And the third double fault in that game.
Well, there's never a good time, but that's probably one of the worst at game point. Trying to do too much, just get that ball in play and playing from the net.
So 3 double faults for Barmasol. We're back on serve. 4 of the last 5 games. Server has not held. Here's Bhatt.
Bhatt got trapped in the backcourt again on that volley. Didn't have enough on it. Schaefer faked the poach but didn't go after it, and I think Bott got caught a little off guard.
Well, the players said out, but the lines people and said it was good. There's Chuck Cunningham, the veteran chair umpire, so it is ruled good. Love 30.
Barmasol anticipated really well right there.
Good again.
As the backhand comes off Schaefer's racket here, Barmasol is all over this ball, anticipating moving in, making the volley between the two of them. Bott just watched it go by.
40 triple break point.
That's a good time for a big serve.
Yes, sir.
Bott seems to be getting that serve under control now.
First ace for Bott.
Big and wide, quick motion, fairly low toss, quick snap. Hard to read.
Not that time, though. Talking to Jay Kramer, remarking about Bott at 6'7" with that low toss. Kramer goes, no, he doesn't throw it that low, but maybe I've been watching him too long.
Yeah. It's low for most of us, but at 6'7", I think he probably has enough height to get away with that.
Fought off another one. Another break point, so we're at 30-40. Still a chance for New Trier to break again. Wow, some good net play there.
Great doubles action there. Hinsdale Central switching to cover. New Trier coming up a little short. Here's the switch. Bott comes in. Nice deep volley. Schaefer right at Barmasol, no chance.
Back to deuce.
Big serve. Bott with a big serve. Barmasol blocked it, but blocked it long. I think the hardest thing for the New Trier team is that Bott's delivery is so quick. It's hard to read where the ball's going to go.
And they save triple break point. Outstanding play by Hinsdale Central. They hold.
Big serving by Sumant Bott. Mark Schaefer was there to end it.
And they go up 5-4 for Hinsdale Central. And as they go to the changeover, let's take a look at how Hinsdale Central got Schaefer and Sumant Bott. Early rounds, no problems. Notre Dame, Carbondale, and Naperville Central. Moline, Glenbrook South, 3 in love, and then
that was their big win.
That's the that was the #1 team of Fitzsimons and Fenning. And then coming back against the #2 Glenbrook North team, dropped the first set and came back with some inspired net play to win it 3-2.
Yeah, they seem to have a little trouble getting into a rhythm in the first set against Glenbrook North this morning, but it seems like they're there now. In spite of getting broken a couple of times, they seem to be back on track. They're moving better, and they're really climbing all over the net.
I don't know how much that matters, but they went up against a doubles team of 2 left-handers, so you don't see it all that often.
May have confused them.
Maybe. Paul Dunn and David Wolf really hung tough. The #2 team from Glenbrook North took the first set 6-2, but then couldn't hold on. Here is Pajitnev to serve at 4-5.
A little long. Bott going for the touch lob off the backhand chip return. A little long.
You know, it seems that they don't quite have a handle on this wind. They thought they had some confidence in the morning when it was much more still. For the semifinals here, it's picked up some, and you can hear it in our microphones, and that does wreak havoc as the ball swirls around. The wind swirls around the back of the school.
Yeah, and I think to some extent the school is blocking some of this wind, and the wind screens block it, and they don't feel it, and then the ball gets up in the air above the wind screens, and it starts to move around more than they thought.
Here's the score at 15 all. And a second foot fault called on Neve.
He wants to get into the net and end this point.
Once again, down down the line with the forehand from Sumant.
Yeah, Bott attacked his first volley from Neve and just drills it by Barmasol before Barmasol has a chance to cover the line.
Big point here. 15-30.
Nice deep serve. Neve closes in, misses the volley.
And we're at set point.
A little
Double
confusion
set.
there as to who was going to hit the ball. Barmasol stuck his racket out, but Neve just mishit the volley.
Again, double set point here for Hinsdale Central. And Bott gets a second serve from Neve.
Let's see if he takes a step in. No, he's still behind the baseline here.
And
great
they do
return.
it.
Bott, great return right at Neve's feet. Neve tried to finesse it down the line and hit it in the top of the net. It's a tough shot.
So the final break.
Deep serve. Here's the little flick low at Neve's feet.
Whoop.
Little half volley. It's going to the right place, but not over the net.
And the fifth service break of that first set gives it to Hinsdale Central 6-4. And here now Bott to serve. First game, second set.
Starting off with a double fault. Now they've changed the sides that they're serving from, trying to keep the same service order. Hinsdale Central is. Bott now serving with the sun at his back.
His second double fault.
Well, with his big serve and Schaefer quick at the net, it's a good combination. You want to try to get your strongest serving game as often as you can. That's why you start with that at the beginning. Here's the return. Schaefer snapping that backhand.
Again, the serve can't be handled by Nutria.
Barmasol just couldn't get around on the backhand, made late contact, and the ball sailed long.
30-15. Mott, the only junior among these four players. Just a little wide on that one. And a good look by Sumant Bott as the ball sails long.
Again, Neve moved in on the return, but caught it a little late and sailed it. I mean, again, it's part of it's the kick, the quick delivery, a little bit of wind once it gets up there. I mean, it appears that the Nutria team's trying to cut this ball off before it gets away from them, but they're just still catching the ball late. Here's Bott to serve. Oh.
And again, Barmasol and Neve are talking to each other.
Didn't know who was going to hit that one.
Well, it turns out it goes to Hinsdale Central. Here we go again.
Okay, big serve down the middle. Mine, yours, no. Oh, too bad.
Not the way you win championships. Nutria's got to get its act together. Meanwhile, Hinsdale Central has the break in the first game of the second set after winning the first 6-4. We'll be back.
Okay, Neve to serve first here. Again, keeping the same service order, but serving from a different side. Big first serve.
Roger Neve. His team lost the first set, 6-4, and down love one here on serve in the second.
Ball tossed a little low that time. Pulled his head down.
And again, Neve has that ball drop on him.
Again, trying to cut that one a little too close. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to go over the net.
So we're at 15 all.
It's wide.
Just floats wide.
You've thought of hitting that one, but then the wind got it and blew it wide. Good serve again. Pinched Bott on that serve.
30-15. And that time, Neve made no mistake on the volley.
Well, there's a standard rule. If the ball's above the net, you want to volley down the line. Here's Neve closing in. Ball pops up high. Forehand volley down the line. Bott, no chance to react to it.
40-15. Oh, what an exchange. And Schaefer said, okay, I'll take that one.
Good reflex from Mark Schaefer there.
18 inches inside the baseline. 40-30.
Lob volley winner, caught everybody off guard.
And New Trier holds on the serve of Neve, and they needed that one.
Yeah, Neve may take a cue from this last game. He won a lot of points on second serves because he's kicking it better than he is on his first serve. He's missing an awful lot of first serves.
So now as the Hinsdale Central team has changed service sides, here is Schaefer. That is Bott.
Serving into the sun, but it didn't seem to bother him much. Bott there to put the ball away. Big first serve from Mark Schaefer. Big overhead from Sumant Bott. Bott's extremely close to the net, but New Trier has trouble lobbing over him.
Well, you can see the tail of the winners there, who's got command. Hinsdale Central with 10 to only 3 for the Trevians. Just wide.
Generally, the key to winning doubles matches is who's the best at attacking, and right now, that's Hinsdale Central. They attack more, and they make it count when they do.
15 all. Hinsdale Central up a set on serve here at 1 all. And yes, right down the tee.
Ace on a second serve. Doesn't happen very often, but that was right on the line.
Once again, Barmasol and Neve are looking at each other.
Just right on the line. Barmasol can't believe that one curved in.
30-15. And 40-15. Neve may have thought that was long. There's your game.
Okay, here's a big first serve, and it catches again. It catches the line and skids. And Neve can't get around on it.
Well, it has been a tough day at the office for New Trier so far. Remember, this is a team that's already beaten Hinsdale Central twice, and nobody told the Red Devils that.
Well, again, I think this morning Hinsdale Central had a chance to prove to themselves that if they keep attacking, they're going to control the matches, and the pressure's on New Trier. They're obviously not going to beat them the same way they beat them the last time, because here we are at least going 3 sets if New Trier wants to win it.
And 3 sets has been the order of the day here so far. All semifinals matches, both singles, both doubles went 3 sets. And Corky, I can't remember the last time that's happened here.
It's very tight. I know it was difficult for the seating committee because some of these teams hadn't played each other to try to figure out who belonged where, but you know, that's why there's so many close matches as we get later into the tournament.
And of course we have the singles final coming up right after this. Barmasol to serve. And a miss hit by Bott.
Too big of a swing by Sumant Bott on that. Barmasol hung up a spin serve, and Bott just teed off. Ball went out by about 10 feet.
$15 love.
There we go. Barmasol putting that serve in play, using that kick serve he's been using all day long on his second serve. He's using it for a first serve now, making it easier for him to get in and tougher for the Hinsdale team to pull it down.
Schaefer thought it was long and sort of shrugged his shoulders and said, guess not. 30 love.
Ball got a little too far out in front of Barmasol that time.
And there's
that one was long.
ball.
Well, he knew he had to hit the second one a little deeper. He just hit it too flat and it didn't come down.
Well, 4th double fault.
Here's that double fault. Just pushed it a little long. Good spin there.
Back live.
Lob volley.
Bott again.
No.
Neve tried the old
between the legs.
Yeah.
Ran out of court there. Almost ran into the fence.
Well, we know the Yannick Noah routine doesn't work there. 30 all. Boy, Bott just hit a wonderful return.
Well, Barmasol caught Bott with that serve on the first point of this game and thought he might catch him again, and Bott was ready, shortened his swing, snapped it down right at Barmasol's feet, and the volley goes wide.
And from 30 love, New Trier facing a break point. Schaefer.
Angle, angle, angle. Cover your partner, Sumant Bott. Schaefer falls down, and Bott takes the angle and puts it back. They just don't lose a beat here. There goes the angle behind Barmasol, and the angle again, re-angled. The angle, re-angled. Schaefer's on the ground.
Yeah.
He's laughing. Bott's doing the work.
Worried that he turned his ankle, but he hadn't. And look at this, another service break in Hinsdale Central. Taking command again here in the second set after winning the first.
Exchanging touch for touch there. Hinsdale Central still on top.
Now Bott to serve. 3-1. Some second serve.
Big. Woo! There's no difference in the velocity of those two serves. Just the second one went in.
What does that say
Down
psychologically to New Trier? Right
Huge.
there. Take that.
Let's make contact. Oh my goodness, it's right by him. It's a second serve, and I can't put my racket on it.
Second ace for Sumant Bott. Oh, he's firing now. And that one.
Ball was called wide. Schaefer stuck his racket out, but couldn't get there in time and pushed it wide. It's got to be really hard. First of all, this thing's coming out of the serve that Bott hits is coming out of the trees, and it's so big.
First serve percentage there, not too much to distinguish between the two teams. But Bott was just pumping those serves. Second serve lead called by the chair umpire.
Well, somebody heard something or felt something.
So Sumant will get one.
Well, the problem with that low trajectory, low toss, it's difficult to read, but you also miss a lot.
You just don't have as much margin for error on the toss.
Well, it looks like with Bott, if it goes more than 6 inches out over the net, it's going long, and then you got 6 inches to play with, and maybe it'll be in the net. There it is. That's probably a ½ an inch too low.
Yeah. It's 3 double faults.
Oh, and there it is again.
Make it 4.
Well, you'd think after you hit 4 faults in a row that you might think about changing something. Let's see what occurs to Sumant Bott here. He's talking it over with Mark Schaefer. He's getting some encouragement here.
Well, you just wonder also now, he started out with that big first serve ace, and the second serve on the second point was equally as hard, but Neve got it back and won the point. He works it just wide, 30-40, still break point New Trier.
Nice touch by Michael Barmasol, but the wind caught that once it got up over the windscreens and blew it wide.
Again on that.
Oh, you can hear the wind in our mics. You can also see the center net strap there's blowing sideways. Big first serve.
Back to deuce.
Neve really stretched out.
The wall of the field house is right behind Hinsdale Central now, and as we said, when that breeze kicks off the windscreens and swirls off the wall, you get almost like a cyclone effect. It just whips around in circles rather than, either coming in left or right or forwards or back. Bott again.
Double fault. Again, first ball's long. He pulled the second one down, put it in the net. He's got to do something to spin that first one in there so he can get these points started, because they're winning an awful lot of points when he puts that serve in play. Schaefer's good at the net. He's got to trust him.
Point New Trier.
Again, about a ½ an inch too low. Down the middle, classic doubles.
Absolutely, with the backhand by Pajit Neve to get the break back. So we are back on serve. Here it is.
He split Bott out. Schaefer comes back. Bott doesn't, and the ball goes down the middle.
So New Trier is broken back. They trail by a set. We are on serve. 3-2 first set, Hinsdale Central. The Sunbrellas are out as the heat continues. The broadcast rights for the Illinois High School Association Boys Tennis Championships have been granted to Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television by the Illinois High School Association, and the unauthorized reproduction or rebroadcast of this event is prohibited. These are the Boys Tennis Championships. The doubles, Hinsdale Central and New Trier on serve in the second set. Hinsdale Central, seated below the New Trier team, took the first set 6-4. Paget Neve serving here.
Nice big first serve on the first point, nice and deep. Okay, 2 first serves. Up 30 love now.
And maybe it's a...
That's great tennis right there from both teams. New Trier got back on the attack about 1 shot earlier than Hinsdale Central. Barmasol coming back with this volley, getting back on the attack, and then Neve closing in to end it with the overhead. Great tennis.
Strong game for the Trevians. It may have been a wake-up call for them. They've been talking to each other and seem to be off the wrong foot most of this match, but right there, Neve just dominated this game.
4 first serves for Paget Neve in a love game. That'll get you pumped.
And that'll get you tied up at 3. We will now see Mark Schaefer, and he has had his ups and downs with his serve.
Right here. Let's go.
Okay, 7th game, second set. Oh, boy, that's good doubles. That is good doubles.
Neve missed one. Barmasol couldn't get his racket on it on time. He was sure that Neve was going to poach and put that ball away. This is a great drive down the line by Barmasol, closing in on the volley. Next ball down the middle. He hoped that Neve would go for that. Big first serve from Mark Schaefer.
30 love.
Neve couldn't get his racket around. Some much better serving from both teams. Here's that big deep serve. Neve can't get around on it.
Back live at 30 love. Right down the tee. Hello. Goodbye.
Yeah, there's 6-7. Used every inch of that reach. He's probably up there about 12 feet when you count the racket. Tough to get to those.
Best basketball team on the tennis court, too.
That's right.
Both these guys play, actually.
That's a tough return. Neve caught Schaefer still in the backcourt, had trouble getting in. Schaefer had trouble getting in behind his second serve. Got trapped deep and couldn't pick the ball up.
We're at 40-15 now. Schaefer. Back. First serve.
Little deep. Low toss, low trajectory. Sailed long.
And Barmasol with the put away.
Yeah, Barmasol started that off with a classic chip return. Low. Forced the ball up in the air, and he was ready for the overhead. Here he goes back for the overhead. Smack. Bot can't get out of the way. New Trier wins a point. They're pumped. Okay. Hinsdale's in an Australian formation this time, trying to cut off the cross-court return.
Both guys on the same side.
See that formation here. Bot and Schaefer both on the backhand side of the court.
Now look at Barmasol coming up.
Trying to challenge. Just long.
Just long, and Hinsdale Central holds.
That's where it pays to be tall. Get it over their heads. It's probably going out.
Well, we continue on serve as we get deep into the second set. Hinsdale Central won the first 6-4. New Trier, as we told you, the higher of the 2 seeds, has already beaten this Hinsdale Central team twice during the regular IHSA season. But right now it is Hinsdale Central in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, both teams getting some good coaching, trying to take the advice, do something about it, change things up, stay in control.
See on the court, that's the assistant coach, Bob Muller, right there. He's also the basketball coach, so he knows these guys from both sports, assistant tennis coach and from basketball. Jay Kramer, the venerable Jay Kramer. Actually, these are probably the two veteran coaches. John Schneider for New Trier. As you see, Jerry Karzin, who's an assistant coach at New Trier, as well as, of course, tennis fans know, one of the fine pros in the area.
And he's seen these two for a long time.
A long time.
Since they were little kids, so he knows their games, and they trust his advice.
Now a 3-4, Barmasol to serve. Right on the line.
Nice kick serve to start it off from Michael Barmasol, closing in on the volley, and then angling it off when Schaefer popped it up.
It just seems the New Trier team is not communicating as well as they normally do there. Of course, doubles teams always talk, but this kind of talk is, well, why did that happen? It seems a little out of sync. Barmasol made a nice play to dig out that volley.
Well, you can see a little bit of a momentum shift here. All of a sudden, the New Trier team is on the attack, and they're starting to control it. They're talking to each other. They're moving around. And the Hinsdale Central team is kind of waiting to see what happens. It's a little too, a little complacent here. Well, that'll help you get back on track. That's a great return from Suman. But I do not know why Michael Barmasol serves to that forehand.
Hit that little spin serve here.
It's a little spin serve, a little roll return right at his feet, and for whatever reason, he's not ready for that.
Yeah, a little spin serve halfway up the box, a little susceptible to the big forehand cross court.
Yep.
Okay. Right there.
Neve made an attempt at that first volley and didn't recover in time for the second shot coming back from Schaefer.
Well, critical point here. 30 all, 3-4. Second set down 1.
And Barmasol chased a bad toss. That one got way too far out in front of him, trying to get to the net.
And the big point won by Hinsdale Central. So a break point against New Trier. If they lose this, of course, they're down 5-3. And Schaefer and Bott will be serving for the match.
Yeah, Neve moved a little late on that and tried to finesse it down the line. Hit it long.
It is long.
Barmasol trying to finesse one down the middle a little long. New Trier started on the attack and ended on the finesse and lost the game.
Second service break for Hinsdale Central. It takes the Red Devils 5 games to 3. And serving for the match here.
Well, this is where I'd love to be Hinsdale Central, and I don't envy New Trier. Biggest guy, biggest serve on the court, serving for the match.
This one, we know the problems he had last time with 4 double faults. Check it, 3 double faults in one game.
Okay, last time he started big and tried to get bigger and missed a lot.
Right.
Okay, well, he's got 2 big serves, but he's not hitting them as hard as he can, which is probably a good thing because he's put them both first serves in play, and that puts the pressure on the returning team. 2
points from the match here.
Okay.
It was wide, 30-15.
A little bit of a miss hit on that return from Barmasol, and Bott couldn't time the volley, hits it wide.
Both these teams seem rather emotional. You know, they really get into it, and here's Schaefer calming his teammate down.
Okay, big point, 30-15, always one of the biggest points of the game. Okay.
And that ball was long.
Big first serve from Bott, but called long.
And Schaefer takes him to match point.
Schaefer stuck his racket out. Neve saw the big opening down the middle and missed the ball. I mean, the ball went right into the net. Okay, Schaefer stretch wide. Big hole down the middle, but looking at the middle and dumps the volley in the net.
So we are at double match point here for Hinsdale Central. Bott serving 40-15. Oh, hold it, not quite.
Huge serve, big return from Barmasol. Neve jumped on the first volley and ended it.
Veteran New Trier team.
Great tennis there. Never say die. Still another match point here.
To go. And there it is.
Big serve from Bott. Handcuffed Neve. They're happy. Huge.
Yeah, an upset in a tournament of upsets.
Well, the New Trier team is understandably disappointed in the way that things turned out, but they played hard here. Hinsdale Central took some chances, and they won playing aggressive doubles.
Well, the big guys prevailed. There is Mark Schaefer hugging Bob Mueller, and now Sumant Bott gets the assistant coach's congratulations and hugs. Bott, we told you, junior, he'll be back. Of course, we'll need a new partner. And what a way to go out from Mark Schaefer. Wow. And there, right there,
there's a high
Jay
five.
Kramer.
That's the highest five James ever reached for, probably.
Here we'll go to match point again.
Big serve from Bott. Handcuffs Neve on the backhand side.
And just like that, it's over.
It's over.
Well, as we said, prior records mean nothing. As the team from Hinsdale Central, SNIOP, right? No negative influence of other people. They've been very positive toward themselves, and they got themselves a state championships. Congratulations to Mark Schaefer, Sumant Bott, Coach Jay Kramer, and the Hinsdale Central Red Devils. 6-4, 6-3, the final in the state doubles championships. Don't go away. We've got singles yet. Stay tuned. The 1998 Illinois High School Association Boys Doubles Championship has gone to the team from Hinsdale Central, with Mark Schaefer and Sumant Bott, a 6-4, 6-3 win over New Trier. At match point, our Pepsi play of the match. The big serve from Bott can't be handled by Paget Neve of New Trier, and that's the story with the big win for the Red Devils. We'll be back. The singles finals coming up next here at Hersey High. Well, we're back at Hersey High School, and the stage is set now for the singles championships, and it will be an interesting matchup, and we hope you are sticking around to enjoy it. Along with Corky Layton, I'm Mike Lederman, and the two singles finalists know each other a bit, and they are a sophomore from Aurora Christian High, John Stott, and Stevenson senior by the name of Carl Schloss. These are two guys who are, well, certainly premier players in the state of Illinois, but one of them hasn't played tennis on the team all year, and that's Stott.
Yeah, John Stott goes to Aurora Christian, and they don't have a tennis team, so he played through the sectional, and he's playing unattached here in the state finals. Very quick, very crafty, very controlled player as he moves around the court.
And he is almost an unknown quantity until he hits the state tournament. He played last year. He was injured, didn't do all that well as a freshman, but here he is in the finals as a sophomore. Carl Schloss, on the other hand, from Stevenson. He's been in the area a couple of years. He is undefeated this year, and he knows about the... If he wins today, I think whoever keeps these records, he will have the best record of anybody in this tournament, in the history of this tournament. Going undefeated, he would be 35-0.
That's incredible. Schloss is a superbly conditioned athlete. He will play mostly from the baseline, looking to open up the court with that inside-out forehand, but he's a powerhouse.
Okay, I love your hat. No kidding. You got it on safari, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
you very much.
We'll have action in just a minute. Take care. We'll be back. There's a look at Aurora Christian's John Stott. We told you he is a sophomore. The Baylor hat, actually, from his brother Matt, who played in this tournament, also a fine basketball player, attends school there. And there is Carl Schloss to serve for his game, first set. Big baseline rally to start, Corky.
Stott was on the run on that last backhand, and he just sailed it past Schloss here. Schloss is coming to net. You're not going to see a lot of this, but when someone comes to net, it's probably more likely to be Carl. They're both great at passing shots, so both of them are a little hesitant about coming in.
15 love.
and an error from Stott. He tends to move the ball around, keep it pretty high over the net. It's unusual for him to miss it all, and especially into the net. Uses a lot of topspin. He's very quick, gets to every shot, very controlled with his movements, usually on balance.
We're at 30 love. Sloss serving. And the backhand goes long. It's 30-15. Both these players lost last year in the tournament to the eventual champion, Tom Butekoffer from Hinsdale Central. Stott in the round of 16 and Sloss in the semifinals. Stott with a big forehand down the line.
Did a great job of setting that up, forced Sloss into the corner, and all Sloss could do was chip it back. Here's Sloss being forced in the corner, chips it back. Stott comes in, takes the ball early, and before Sloss can recover, drills it down the line.
Both these players love serve and volleyers because they love to pass it. So now we'll see somewhat similar games, although as you said, I think Sloss is probably a bit stronger than Stott. Stott may be a bit more consistent, can we say? We'll see.
Right, and Sloss will go to end the points. Okay, Sloss tried to end that one and sailed his forehand a little long, caught it late.
And we have a break point.
Both players using lots of topspin to control the ball, hitting these balls 3-4 feet over the net.
Sloss looking right into that sun now.
Nice approach shot by Carl Sloss. Pulled Stott off the court. Tough to hit a passing shot when you're sliding by the ball. Here's a nice approach shot in the net.
And we are at deuce. It is warm out there, no question. Temperatures in the 80s, and the heat reflects off the concrete.
First serve long.
And we're sitting literally about 20 feet to the right of John Stott. So you feel that coming off the court, and that heat radiates. But as Stott said to us earlier, the hotter the better. And that one, the backhand, Sloss wants a call, doesn't get it. It is wide. It'll be appealing to Mike Sutko in the chair, and Mike says, no way I'm overruling. So it's another break point.
Yeah, Carl Sloss tried to cut that one real thin, cleared the net by about 1.5 inches and just barely missed the line wide. But that's his game. He's going to play on the outside edges of the court.
And there it is. There's a break in the first game.
Another mishit forehand by Sloss that sailed long. There's a lot of topspin on from both of these players.
So his coach, Dean Shionis, gives him a hand as John Stott gets the first break. First game, first set. We'll be back. There is Carl Sloss, who was broken in his first service game. Here is John Stott to serve. You know what, Corky? I think this has set a record for the probably briefest state singles final. 5 letters in each of the guys' last names.
Yeah, but they're so close.
Wow. Other statistics we don't have to tell you about. Oh.
Nice chip touch lob. Oh. Sloss is thinking, I wish I'd have hit that. Well, again, these players are both better at passing than they are at playing the net. Not that they're bad. Here's this nice little chip lob, and Sloss just misjudged it. The ball went in by 4 or 5 feet.
Yes, sirree. When you're hot, you're hot. So it's 15 love.
Stott uncharacteristically going for these huge first serves.
Pretty good second serve right there,
Yeah.
too.
Well, that was the serve that he used most of the way through the semis. Just kicked the ball up high, and I think, you know, rather than wear himself out, if he's going to try to control Schloss on his service games, he should be kicking him up there where Schloss has trouble dealing with those high kick backhands.
Now, these two have played a few times before. They played in a national tournament earlier this year. Stott winning.
Yeah, that was indoors on very fast courts, so the conditions were a little different than they are here. There's a miss hit from Stott. Again, a lot of topspin on both sides. Tough to time those balls. Caught a little late.
And there's a look at, as we told you, Dean Chionis, who, by his own admission, sort of holds the fort at Aurora Christian. Remember, there is no organized team, and we'll talk about that. Stott plays under Aurora Christian's banner. And Schloss is interesting, doesn't like to have a coach with him as the first double fault from John Stott. Doesn't like to have a coach with him on the sidelines because you know it's permissible to coach in high school tennis. Schloss, he said, if I want to find my coach, I'll know where he is. Got it. He's there. Stott was there.
Just didn't get over the net. He's looking for another let cord back, I guess.
Now he's just looking for the ball. Both these guys are hitting these big topspin forehands.
Okay, good reaction from Stott to get in on this short little chip over the net and tops it right into the net. Can you believe that? Quarter of an inch too low.
So Carl Schloss now has a break, even up this match. There's that huge serve that, as we say, only missed by a zip code or two.
Big forehand.
Both guys. And the slice backhand.
Oh, that's a great approach from Carl Schloss. I mean, he's more likely to be looking for an opening to come in than Stott is, but he really took advantage there. A short ball, smacked his forehand. There's the short ball. Look at this touch. Just slides the ball in, and Stott can't get under it.
And we have here is Schloss. We have dueling service breaks right now, so we are back on serve with Schloss to serve. At 1-all.
Schloss. They're just drilling these balls back and forth. Sometimes it's hard to see the power when you're watching it through the TV screen, but these guys are really hammering these topspin forehands back and forth, trying to look for a weakness, soften each other up.
And neither player looking too much of a net game, at least not yet. And the unforced error.
Schloss is trying to soften up Stott on the backhand side. John decided to run around that last one, try to hit a forehand inside out into the net. Schloss is just hammering away at Stott's backhand. Inside out, but in the net. Didn't get around it quite far enough.
And we're at 15-all, back to live action. There's so much topspin on that ball Schloss hits. You really have to step into it, otherwise it's going to be just bouncing all over the place away from you.
You got to take that ball early, because if you let it get away from you. In fact, Schloss had a little trouble there with Stott's wide forehand because it kicked up so high. Stott just went for too much at the ball in the net.
30-15.
kick serve from Carl Sloss. Stott came over the ball too much, dumped it in the net. Either one of these players makes too many mistakes early on in a rally.
Well, both are what they call, of course, mentally tough when you've been through 7 matches now in 3 days. You're really going on your instincts, too. They play the 3 matches on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 2 here today.
It's a grind.
And both had long 3-set matches in the semifinals. That one wide.
Sloss going for a winner down the line when he was pulled wide, lost his balance a little bit, and that one sailed on him.
Sloss looked like he had an easy time coming up against Tommy Marhoff of Moline. That one, the first set was up a break 2-love, and then just lost concentration, was zipped 6 straight, and came back to win the 3rd set, 6-1.
Well, Marhofer also had something to do with that. He always gets up for this tournament.
Can't let up on that kid.
Not at all. An error from Stott.
So we remain on serve now with Sloss taking the service. It's 2-1. We are on serve. Let's take a look now at the road to the finals. See how they got where they got and how Stott got where he got. There we take a look at Carl Sloss. Well, he's been to a lot of places. Born in New Orleans, now lives here. John Stott with a win over Belleville, Ottawa, and Stagg 1 and 4. Then moving on in the tournament, defeating Dane Schmidgall of Peoria Ridge, was one of the top seeds, 1 and 2, and then the big win over Justin Kinney, another top seed of Glenbard West. Tough 3-set match after dropping that first set, 4-6, 6-3, and 6-2. There he is again. We told you he is just a sophomore and loves playing in the heat. Well, he's getting his wish today. Meanwhile, Carl Sloss, as we told you, born in New Orleans. He's lived about half a dozen places, most recently Buffalo, New York, Danbury, Connecticut. He's been here for about 3 years. This is his march through the draw, somewhat easily in the first part of the draw. Then against Alex Hobson of Urbana University, 1 in love, and the big one against Peter Rose, the defending doubles champion from last year, after winning in 3, and then against Marhofer in 3. Here is Stott to serve at 1-2.
Long rally. This is what we kind of expected when we talked about this match earlier. A lot of driving, deep ground stroke rallies, waiting for one or the other to make a mistake or a chance to come in.
And it was Sloss going long, so it's 15-love. And a good first serve.
Good serve from Stott. Jammed Sloss a little bit on the backhand side. Missed when he was pulling away. Here it is. He's jammed. He's trying to pull away, but he just can't get around on the ball. Middle of the net. Seems like the wind's died down a little bit here. Maybe it'll be easier to serve.
Yeah. And it's easier for Stott right now. He's got the sun on his back.
That's a great return.
Wow, what a forehand.
Well, Stott's serve was a little short, and Sloss loves to run around his backhand.
Yeah. It's tee-off time right here. We'll show it to you.
Here's a custom-made serve for Carl Sloss to tee off on. Short in the box, right around that forehand, boom, winner.
Like a belt-high fastball to Mark McGuire.
Serve called long.
And again, the backhand long. .40-15.
much spin, you're going to get some errors.
We've seen them so far. Every point's been a rally. With just about every point. State singles championships on serve, first set. Well, he's right around. Try to run around that one.
Yeah, didn't pull away quite far enough. Didn't have enough room to finish his swing. Put it in the net. 2-all. Well, that one skipped off the service line. Lots of power from Sloss. Stott just could not get under the ball.
Sloss, the physically bigger of the two.
Tremendous condition.
Yeah. He had some injuries last year and then took conditioning classes to build up his stamina as well as rehab the injuries. And, talking to one of the fine coaches around, tennis coaches, Mark Bay, who works with Sloss, he said that's really helped toughen him up. You know Mark, of course.
Sure.
15 all on the first double fault.
Let up a little bit too much on that last second serve. A lot of spin, but not enough distance.
Anyway, Mark was saying how he had hyperextended a knee over the summer, but he's back now and just thrives on the work.
There's that passing shot.
Boy, did he hit, Stott hit just two terrific shots, Corky, with the forehand right at the ankles and then the passing shot.
Completely stretched Sloss out. Here's the ball at his feet, stretched out, pops it up, Stott in there.
Boom.
And again, you can see Sloss a little uncomfortable up there at the net.
Where was that Fox boom when we needed it?
Yeah.
And we should salute our Trio video crew and Jim Corno Jr. and our Fox Sports Chicago truck. Good to have you with us. Well, yeah, those guys, without it, we wouldn't have a match. But nice to have you listening in, too, and watching.
It's amazing. Stott's forehand lands inside the service box and kicks Sloss all the way back to about 2 feet from the fence on that one.
And we are at double break.
First serve long. Oh, another passing shot. Sloss misjudged the ball. Stott, great passing shot cross court.
All right, so John Stott with his second service break. He takes the lead 3-2. We'll come back to the state singles championship right after this. Whoops, where'd that go? Okay, here. Well, I want to remind you that Fox Sports Chicago is your place for the Bulls' drive toward the 6th World Championship. Boy, we hope they keep it going after every game of the 98 playoffs, even the ones on NBC. We go live in the locker room for exclusive interviews and post-game analysis with Norman Chet. The playoffs play on Fox Sports Chicago. John Stott serving with a break. First set, he leads at 3-2. Sloss is long.
Nice deep serve to start it off from Stott.
Wide on the first serve. And that second serve got the back of the line.
It's a great angle from Carl Sloss. Again, he took a chance there coming in using the return as an approach shot. Here he comes in. Nice low volley. Deep in the corner, Stott pops it up. Nice angle backhand volley winner.
15 all. We've seen Stott very adept at counterpunching. Always seems to have an answer for what someone throws at him.
Oh, Stott to the net that time.
Sure.
Unusual. Big serve. Came in behind the second ball.
30-15. We'll watch it here.
Big serve, short return. In on the approach shot, and then wide open court for that backhand volley.
Surprise, surprise. 30-15.
Oh, followed it by a double fault.
His first for Stott. 30 all.
Once he gets into these rallies, he has a chance to control the point, but he's got to get that serve in play. It's not big enough that he's going to hit winners anyhow.
And that one lofted wide.
It's an error from Sloss again. Sloss trying to open up the court. Wants to get some room to swing. Just a little bit too far wide.
There's Stott, the sophomore. Sloss, the senior. Aurora Christian against Stevenson. When Stott's gone for the big serve, it's been to the ad court. Missed there.
It's another approach shot returned by Sloss. It puts a lot of pressure on your opponent because he doesn't have as much time to react to that first ground stroke. Stott just pulled it wide.
At 40 all.
Not a lot of margin for error on that serve.
Wind is kicking up. And as we say that, a big miss hit from Carl Sloss.
Pulled up, caught that one off the bottom of the frame, put it over the fence. This wind plays havoc with these guys because their timing is so close on their strokes.
Can hear it now.
Oh, there's another miss hit.
And so Stott comes back to hold serve, go up 4-2 here in the first set.
It's not surprising to the players that these two are in the finals, but I know it must have been very difficult for the seating committee, considering that Stott didn't really have a high school season. He just played in the sectionals.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about that. Again, while everybody else...
Well, Sloss did nothing with that volley, and Stott put the ball right by him.
Backhand cross court.
This is a really nice approach shot and the pop-up, but Sloss does nothing with the ball. He misjudged it again. I think it may be a little bit of wind, and there's the passing shot.
Big topspin forehand, a smash.
Stott hit that one a little short. Sloss picks it up on the rise and just nails it. This one's just a little short. Stott off balance, and Sloss just unloads.
That's that big wind-up. And
huge.
It's just about every shot with topspin off the forehand. And what happened there?
There's another one of those. I think the wind caught the ball and he underhit it. He missed a few of those against Marhofer,
yeah,
too.
he sure did. It's almost as though he's waiting for it and taking too much time with it and thinking. Well, look at the difference in first serve percentage, although it doesn't really translate into the score.
Well, when Sloss makes an error, it's usually after the point's gotten started. There's an approach shot, a clear approach shot that just floated wide.
And another double break point against Carl Sloss, who is finding himself in a hole here, down a break, first set, and now facing 2 double break points at 2-4. And there is the break.
A little bit of hesitation by Sloss that time. Decided to take it as a backhand, but came over it, hit it late and over the top, and the ball's in the net.
So another break, the third by John Stott against Carl Sloss. So Stott will be serving for the first set when we come back here at Hersey High. State Singles Championships from Hersey High School. Mike Liederman with Corky Layton and our Fox Sports Chicago crew. Sophomore John Stott serving for the first set. Stott from Aurora Christian against Stevenson senior Carl Sloss, undefeated this IHSA season. There's a rare miscue lately from Stott.
Well, Sloss changed the pace by kicking it up about 3 notches, and I don't think Stott was ready for that one.
Went to the hat, did Sloss in the changeover. And once again, takes the duck and shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah, Stott badly mishit that forehand, popped it up. A lot of players that take that ball out of the air, but Sloss has a tremendous amount of confidence in that forehand. Try to take it on the rise, put it in the net.
15 all. And again, the ball drops on Sloss. Both these players big strokers, but Stott more of the counterpuncher, and as we said, Sloss tries to end the point.
Yeah. Well, Carl tried to mix it up with a slice that time, and when John hit the ball short, Carl didn't take advantage.
30-15. Backhand long. And we're at set point. Double set point.
Trying to end it there, taking a backhand on the rise, trying to drill it down the line, just didn't get enough spin on it, the ball sailed.
So here is the sophomore serving for the first set at 40-15. Double fault number 2.
A little extra pressure on that point. He knew he wanted to put that ball in play, and he didn't want to give Carl anything to swing at. A little extra pressure on himself.
Still a set point here.
Great athletic move from Carl Sloss. High backhand volley. Sprung up in the air and smacked the winner.
Sloss fighting off the second set point. We'll show it to you here.
Nice approach shot, real low. Stott has a little trouble getting under it. Nice low volley again. Stott digging it out. Great move by Sloss getting up in the air.
Back to live action at deuce, second serve.
Another unforced error. Sloss opened the court up and he couldn't take advantage. It's the ball wide.
Sloss not playing as well as we've seen him. Stott taking advantage of it. Here's another set point. Remember, Sloss is a guy who this season has lost to nobody on the IHSA schedule.
That's incredible. And he's played all the tough ones.
Yeah. Big forehand, set up the overhead. Back to deuce.
Well, that's the way Carl Schloss wants to play these points. He wants to work the ball around and then hammer that forehand to set it up. Here it is. He steps inside the baseline and cranks. No chance.
He
Big
wasn't going to
overhead.
wait on that one. Just put it away.
On the run, Schloss did a great job getting back in the point, and then when he had this ball set up in the middle of the court, he just overtopped it.
And another set point coming up.
I'm sure he's wondering what's going on here.
And there it is. Typical of the first set. Ball by Schloss into the net, and it gives John Stott the first set. 6-2. 3 service breaks there by Stott. Be interesting to see what the unforced errors look like on Carl Schloss. We'll get those up for you. 15 love. We start the second set. First game, second set. Quick, you got to ask yourself too. On the one hand, Stott doesn't play the high school schedule with everyone else. He's eligible for the tournament, of course, because he goes to an Illinois high school. And they don't have a team. He's got to play. Get to that in a minute. Ball was wide. He's got to play, with his coaches. As we take a look at the unforced errors, he's got to play with his coaches. He's got to play with other players to scrimmage or in some tournaments. And you wonder if it's an advantage or a disadvantage to play in an event like this. Look at the difference in those unforced errors, almost 2-1.
Yeah, that's the difference.
On the one hand, he does have some good competition, but he's mostly playing adults. And he'll see some of these guys in sanctioned tournaments. But all winter long, basically, he's working out. And in the spring, he's playing in the sectionals.
Well, the season tournament players are going to rise to the occasion in a tournament event. He's had enough tournament matches in the last 2 weeks to get ready for this, and probably the one positive is that he hasn't had to play a lot of bad matches that some of these guys have to go through during the high school season, non-competitive matches.
That's true. And again, you ask, is it fair? Well,
if your school doesn't have a team, there's not much you can do about that.
Exactly. Wide on the forehand. Well, when Schloss is pushing the action, he can make those points. He can even force Stott into errors, but that has not happened up until really this game.
Right. Schloss has decided to stay in these points longer, keep the pressure on, and Stott's made 3 errors this game. 4.
And there's a love game for Carl Schloss to open the second set. So it's got to be a lift for him. Meanwhile, he trails 1 set to love. State singles finals. We'll take a break. Well, there's our state doubles champion right there. Our state doubles champions, Mark Schaefer, Sumant Bhatt of Hinsdale Central. Earlier today, a straight set winner over New Trier. Congratulations to all the Red Devils and to their state championship doubles team. Here we are at the singles second set. There is Carl Schloss. He trails 1 set to love, and we are on serve. Game 2, second set.
Another error from Stott. 5 points in a row, 5 Stott errors.
Once again, Corky going for that big serve to the ad. Hasn't been successful there yet, but he's keeping Sloss on his toes.
Another miss.
6 straight points. Both these guys, historically very composed. You won't see them throw rackets or kick chairs. Of course, there's a pretty strict performance code here at the tournament. You do that, it's a penalty point, then it's 4 points. Just wide. And Stott thought, well, he's not going to get that call.
Oh, a double fault.
And that's his 3rd. And he's got a triple break point staring in front of him.
Well, so far in the second set, they've played 7 points, and Stott has made 7 errors to end those points. Very different than the first.
And once again, 8 straight points. And Carl Sloss has a breaker. So it's...
Now, not a lot has changed, except I think Stott is maybe trying to do a little bit more with the points. He might be a little tight, seeing how easily he won the first set. Sloss has obviously changed his strategy. He's not trying to end the points quite so early, willing to stay in the point and allow Stott to make the error.
Here's Carl at 2-love. And that breaks the string. 115 is Stott takes advantage of the error and gets the point.
Yeah, an error from uncharacteristic in this set anyhow for Sloss to make that error. Went over the high part of the net.
To the net.
Serve and volley. First time we've seen that today, but certainly something Sloss can do. He's got a big kick serve. Push Stott off the court. Here it is, big kick serve. Moving in behind it. Easy volley, open court, winner.
Nice split step, just the way you teach them.
Save that one.
Ah,
Use it for the teaching videos.
that's right. 15 all. And the miss hit. 30-15. 30-15. Are the students today more technically, are they technically better or technically not as good? With the big rackets and all the different...
Well, I think they understand what they're supposed to be doing in terms of how much they actually do with the equipment they have. It's a question, but they certainly do a lot of more different things than you might have seen 10 years ago. A lot of topspin, big rackets, lots of power.
Good cross-court backhand return there by Stott, bringing the score to 30 all.
Technical execution is very good. Under pressure, risk-taking, maybe not quite as high.
Again, Sloss to the net.
Great angle volley, inside out backhand, lots of spin. Stott could not catch up with the ball.
It's interesting what you say. You're saying that there's just not as much, it's more conventional tennis now. They don't take a chance on the spectacular or the harder shot.
Yeah, I think the...
Sit back with the...
Right. I think the equipment has done a lot to change the game. Allows the players to play a conservative style without giving up power. Of course, when you watch some of the pro tournaments on the faster surfaces, you may not know, may not think that.
Good two-handed backhander.
Again, Stott caught Schloss going the wrong way. Carl was hoping that was going to be a backhand, and Stott went down the line with it. Big open court down the line. Stott takes advantage. Little chip. Catches him going the wrong way.
At deuce.
Big angle by Schloss that time. Stott mistimed the ball a little bit, but a lot of that was Carl Schloss.
That big wind-up forehand. Watch it here.
Okay, here's a short ball. Schloss steps in. Nice angle off the court. Stott can't quite get set for the shot.
That big stroke he's got off the forehand. His coaches say he came with that. They don't teach it to him, do they?
No, he's always got that big forehand. Sophomore year, very impressive. Here he is a senior, just bigger and stronger.
And he holds at 3-love now.
Another error from Stott, uncharacteristic. He's been putting the ball back in play. Can't get solid contact on this return of serve.
Well, the second set has belonged to Carl Schloss. After losing the first 6-2, he's come back for a break and a 3-love lead. We'll take a break here. There's the sophomore. He's up 1 set, but in trouble in the second. Stott serving. And love 3 and sails the first point long.
Second serve, Schloss nailed the forehand cross-court return, and Stott was a little late getting there. Floated it.
Part of the crowd. Again, it is very warm. The wind has kicked up some. Beautiful weather. But you got to keep drinking fluids on a day like this, although the clouds now have moved in. Love 30, and that has cooled things off some.
Our El Nino state final.
That's right. Well, I'll take this compared to what usually happens, you know, where you play 3 points outdoors, then it pours, you have to go indoors.
Yeah, we're lucky we weren't in California this year. We'd probably still have a rain.
Probably be yeah, somewhere in the middle of a crevice or something.
Oh, great low ball. Carl Schloss just unloaded on that forehand. Big top spin. Stott couldn't pick the ball up.
Triple break point now against Stott. It's almost like Carl Schloss is saying, okay, I'm ready now. Come on, let's play.
Yeah, come to the net, and I'll hit this one right at your toes.
Boom. I mean, he took that one off his ankle. That Western forehand grip you were talking about, Corky, where you have so much of the big windup. You can reach down and almost grab it right off the concrete.
Big top spin.
Right there.
Stott just took a stab at that ball. It's almost like he's throwing this set away so he can get started in the third. Well, he's down 4-0 now.
Another break. Neither one of these guys is afraid of going 3. But right now, the way Schloss is playing, he's going to get there very quickly. Leaves it 4-love. There it is. All Schloss had to worry about was not touching the net.
Yep. Good approach shot, sets that up. Stott barely gets his racket on it, and here's Schloss. Oh, I got it, but don't run into the... Oh, I hope I don't... Oh, phew.
Well.
A little bit of wind there.
Okay. Or maybe a little bit of toe.
Who knows? Got away with it. Oh, and then Stott just sails one.
You may be right. There is a good look at the senior from Stevenson.
Must be the hat.
Right. And the sophomore from Aurora Christian, John Stott.
Great serve.
Well, another streak here, 7 straight, 8 straight, 9 straight points.
Big serve from Sloss. Jam Stott inside. Couldn't get around on it. Hit the ball in the net.
For a 5-love lead here.
No, I think we knew that was coming.
Why not?
Hit it as
40 love.
hard as you can, right?
You may try it again here on second serve.
I think this is going to be a kick.
Oh,
A little too, not quite enough kick there.
that's the 11th commandment, you know, thou shalt not be cute.
Yep.
Second double fault for Carl Sloss. And Sloss has this ability to lose that concentration sometimes.
Happened with
Yeah.
Marhofer. Marhofer
Absolutely.
ran off 6 games this morning when Sloss was trying to figure something out. And there's a return of serve error.
From Stott, so it is now a 5-love lead. And John Stott saying, whoa, wait a minute, let's regroup right here. But he'll probably have to do his regrouping in set number 3.
Well, I think a good strategy, if he can do it, would be to try to put everything on the line right here in this game to try to get his whatever strategy or tactics he's going to use in the third set started, rather than let this set go by and try to start right at the beginning of the third. Because if he's going to change his game, he's going to have to start working on it right now. Because again, the odds aren't with him to come back and win this set, but at least he's got to make it challenging.
And it'd probably be better for him to start the third set on his serve rather than on Sloss's, the way Sloss has been serving.
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
Fox Sports Chicago, we hope you're enjoying this, the IHSA Boys State Singles title. Along with Corky Layton, I'm Mike Lederman, and we are at Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, where they have done their usual fabulous job. Nobody gets any sleep. Everybody's working hard, coordinating all the different sites on Thursday and Friday, and coming here for the semifinals, the finals, and the back draw, the consolation bracket on Saturday. And a lot of credit, of course, has to go to Larry Travis, the athletic director here at Hersey, and our buddy John Novak, who, in spite of a power outage at his home that lasted a lot longer than most, has been here shepherding everybody, getting everybody on and off the courts on time. And we thank them and congratulate them for another fine event.
Okay.
Pressure forehand there for once, right?
Well, big serve to set up that point from Stott. Sloss mishit that last forehand, but there was a lot of pressure. Stott was coming in behind his serve. Sloss went for a little too much and mishit the ball.
Well, I'm interested in what you said about his strategy for Stott this game, to really try to regroup at this point, even if he does lose this set, trailing now 5-love, get a game and a strategy.
Forehand down the line on the run. Mach 10, Carl Sloss. These guys, their passing shots are just so tremendous.
15 all.
Oh, Stott just unloaded on that forehand. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the third set. Step it up a little bit.
Yeah, like that classic heavyweight fight. Take that, you take that.
Back and forth.
Punch and counter punch. 30-15.
Oh, no, he missed it.
And you could see where John just dug. He just wanted to get out of the way.
Stott hit the deck. He didn't want to lose it there.
Look at this. Look at
Unloads on this forehand. Stott barely gets his racket on. The thing pops up. Carl, boom. Oh, no, in the net. How did that happen?
40.
Okay. Stott wins a game to stop the bleeding. Put a little more pressure on Sloss that time. Played more aggressively, took some chances. We were talking about that earlier. You got to take some chances to win this game.
And then, of course, you get into Carl Sloss's head now. He's just missed another sitter. And will he finish it off here, or will he have some problems, which we have seen him have in this tournament, if not in this match? What a play.
Oh.
Outstanding tennis.
Big groan on that one. Stott trying to run that one down. He knew he was in trouble. Great tennis. Both players working the ball around the court. Sloss in. Stott barely there. Sloss away. Sloss there to put it away.
But that point itself just had a flow, starting in the backcourt, smashing back and forth at each other and setting up the volley. Both players taking a little extra time here.
Yeah. Well, this is a different rhythm than we've seen for most of this set. Back and forth, playing, trying to soften each other up. Great passing shot from John Stott. Sloss just a little late getting in behind that approach shot.
Yeah, he seemed, watching his expression, he just seemed to hesitate just a little bit.
And that's all it takes at this level.
15 all. Now what? All right.
Oh,
No
on
problem.
the building. Oh, not quite.
Sloss has had a chance to really get himself in trouble on so many of those shots. That one, though, not a problem.
Right. Well, he started that point off with a big first serve, big forehand approach, got the pop up and ended it with the overhead.
2 points from evening this match. And that one was somewhere into Lake County. That time, Stott to the net.
Stott the aggressor on that point. Sloss content to stay in it. And Stott on the attack. John Stott looking for a way to get in. Big topspin forehand approach. Nice volley. No way.
.30 all. Sloss trying to close him out right here and even this up. Last couple of games, Corky's been some excellent points. There he is.
Well, I think Sloss baited Stott a little bit on that one. He was standing on the other side of the court. Wait, go ahead, hit your topspin forehand, the one I've seen 100 times. This time I'm going to be ready for it. Sloss just waits, and there it is. Stott's too far away. All he's got to do is touch it.
Look at the unforced errors.
Well,
how
it's a
they've
complete
changed. Look at that.
turnaround from the first set.
Set point here.
That's gone. Okay, nice serve and volley from Carl Sloss to end the set.
And we are even at a set apiece. So we will go to a third set to decide the state singles champion. Will it be the sophomore from Aurora Christian, John Stott, or the senior from Stevenson, Carl Sloss? We'll find out after this. Back for the third and final set. John Stott to serve. And he is long. Love 15. I think that's what we're going to be seeing a lot more of.
Yeah, both players stepping into the ball here. Nobody's going to give an inch. And I think Carl Sloss is going to try to cut down on his errors, and John Stott's going to try to play a little bit more aggressively without making mistakes himself.
Stott won the first set 6-2, Sloss the second 6-1. What do you think? About a 7-5, 8-6, or 10-8 third set?
Well, you remember what I said at the beginning.
Yeah, I said 18-16.
25-27, because we play them out here in the third.
That's right. And Love 30 is Sloss with the big return.
Another error from John Stott.
And we are at triple break point here in the first game of the third set. As John Stott has changed his attire, cap and shirt, and now tries to fight out of a left 40 hole. There it is. We'll get this one.
That's yours, Mike.
You betcha.
All right. Good hands.
Oh, just an old first baseman. And right away, we've got a service break. First game, third set goes to Carl Schloss. There he is. Well, you take a look at the team standings now. Of course, this is a team sport, Corky. And what you got there? Looks like New Trier with a three-peat, huh?
Yeah, New Trier's back at first. Glenbrook North second. Moline third, and Hinsdale Central will be fourth.
So our congratulations to all those teams for John Schneider and New Trier. This is their third straight team championship, and as you know, on the high school as well as college level, there's the team aspect to tennis where all the matches, not only the individual singles and doubles matches, but the consolation matches draw points. And so the Trevians of New Trier come away with their third straight title. And if John Schneider keeps saying he's retiring anymore, he's just going to keep winning titles again, I guess.
He's got the magic touch. He's got the magic players, too.
That can't hurt, yeah. Yeah. Well, this year he did it with probably his top singles player, Russell Bennett, defaulting in the second round because of illness. Still had plenty of firepower. His doubles team came in second in the state.
And Bennett fought his way back through the consolation tournament. In spite of being sick in the beginning of the tournament, he fought his way through and was in the finals of the back draw.
Schloss with the 1-love lead in the breaker here.
Wide on the passing shot. Again, Schloss on the attack. Stott with the missed passing shot cross court.
Working that backhand of Stott.
Yeah, this is what he started doing in the first set. Still working it. And there's the missed passing shot.
15-love. There it is again. No doubt about that one.
Yeah, well, Schloss wasn't going to hit another easy one in the net, I don't think.
Some players who hit just one of those three shots that Schloss has, to be honest, butchered, it throws them off, not Schloss. He has got his focus.
There he is, and here's the overhead to end it. Good quick feet, great concentration by Carl Schloss. Stott with another error on the service return. Big kicking serve from Schloss. It makes it tough.
9 straight points won by Carl Schloss, going back to the last 2 in the second set. Looking for the 2-love lead. It is long.
Always long. Again, Schloss pulled Stott right off the court. Stott tried to hack it back and it sailed.
Well, John Stott has a big climb right now because Schloss has taken control of this match. Here is Stott serving, love 2.
Big first serve from John Stott. Set that point up. Short return from Schloss, and Stott put the ball away. Down the line. Lone winner.
He needs a host of good things to happen for him.
Well, as hot as it is out here, I'm sure both of these players are trying to conserve a little bit of energy so they've got enough at the end. And big serves like that don't go in waste energy.
Stott has had his problems on that first serve all match long. Schloss was there.
Yep, just not quite enough oomph to get it over the net.
Don't you hate those when your opponent could just cream it and then you're right there and you
It's on your strings and you can't
It's on
figure out
your
how to get it over
strings
the
and
net.
just ticks the tape and bounces back at you.
Another big
Oh.
first serve and a
Whoa.
bigger forehand. My goodness. John Stott unloaded on this serve. Two shots later, Carl Schloss unloads on this forehand.
Go.
Good night. It's over.
Back to live action. We get a service ace. Takes us to 40-15.
And there it's okay to use that big serve as long as you get an ace out of it.
I believe that is the first ace of the game, of the match.
It may be.
Certainly of the game.
Our memories aren't that bad.
Oh, please. The public address announcer you're hearing in the background is for a girls' soccer game going on here. This is a full-service academic and athletic academy here at Hersey High.
A little long on that return of serve. Game to Schloss. Game to Stott.
Yeah, Stott gets into the game win column here in the third set. He still trails by a break at 2-1. Well, you know, both players, again, they are fit. They are over injuries that bothered each of them a year ago. And they were ready for a marathon, and they've had one, certainly to this point.
The tone of this third set is certainly more aggressive than the other two from both players' standpoints. They're going to push each other as far as they can and then go for it when they get their openings. I don't think they want to stay out here any longer than they have to. They don't want a 25-27. But they're certainly prepared for it if they need to.
Yeah, again, talking to Stott, I said, you know, does the heat bother you? Does the number of matches bother you? And he said the heat, the hotter the better. And we'll see. I mean, he is being tested. Both are being tested.
Well, they're both in tremendous shape.
The sun has come out again. For a while, the clouds had covered it and had cooled things off some, but it is beating down now. There you see the scores so far. Split sets and up a break for Stevenson. Carl Schloss here. Serving 2-1.
Just long there. Stott hit that forehand a little short, and then Schloss came through it a little too much, a little too flat, sailed a little bit on him. Carl Schloss's kick serve is incredible. He's hitting the ball 2 feet inside the line, and John Stott is probably 8 feet behind the baseline trying to return it.
And he's, what, hitting about 70% first serves.
Yeah, amazing.
That one wide, love 30. And as we're praising him, he is digging himself a bit of a crater here in this game. Love 30.
It's long.
It's good.
Great forehand down the line from Carl Schloss. He had opened up the cross court and Stott went to cover it, and the ball was behind him before he knew it.
Big point. Carl Schloss coming through here, taking him to 15-30. Didn't want to go down 3 breakers here with the third set seemingly under control. And you're right, Corky. That time he gave him a big kick serve on the first one again.
Schloss doing a great job of opening up the court with his ground strokes there. Stott not able to catch up with that last forehand.
Oh,
Stott on the run. Schloss with the huge forehand. Stott just barely got his racket on that one.
He's really moving Stott around. Now even at 30 all.
Again, that big kick serve set up a short return, and Sloss was able to capitalize. Stott couldn't get the ball back over the net on the passing shot.
Well, any hopes that Stott had of getting back into the set have, for the moment at least, been dissipated. Although he's only down a break, he did have that 30-love lead. Now he's been reduced to facing a game point against. Boy,
Yeah.
Sloss went down to get that first volley, but didn't have an answer for the second, huh?
These guys have incredible passing shots. If their first volley isn't absolutely crisp on the money, that next ball goes right by them. Both have great passing shots, and here's Stott, great example.
Oh.
Sloss has to cover one side or the other, and he guesses the wrong way.
Back to deuce.
Huge serve from Carl Sloss. Stott got his racket on it, but a little late, thing sails long. Great point, super tennis, both players. End of that point, John Stott grunting on every shot, trying to give it everything he had. Finally a short ball for Carl Sloss, and he ends it. Just smacks his forehand down the line. Stott barely gets to the ball. Nice little touch half volley, pops it up, and Sloss is there, puts it away.
That was the longest rally of the match. One of the nicest points of the match. Sloss starting a, I guess, a new fashion trend with the inside-out shirt. Works for him. He's up 3-1. And Sloss wants.
He thinks it was a let.
Yeah, he wants a let call there. Chair umpire Mike Sutko says no.
15 love.
So the call stands. 15 love.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about, when we were off mic, we were talking about the new college rule where they actually play the lets.
Yeah, tell me about that, because that's new.
Well, it's the NCAA schools are having are playing lets on the serve so that they can't slow down play. There's a good point. A big serve hits the top of the net. You got to play it out. Can't end the point by calling a let.
Well, that can really reduce a 100-mile-an-hour serve to jelly, can't it?
Absolutely. It can work both ways.
Well,
Sloss going for the touch volley, just catches the top of the net.
he's done that before, but again, it's probably been his most common error. And yet he's been able to focus through it and not get upset on subsequent points.
That's a sign of a good player. Just bounce back, every point's a new one. Stott unable to get under that backhand. Both of these guys love to rip these topspin backhands, but when that ball gets down low, the only choice they have is to hit that underspin.
Well, here's a big point coming up. Stott serving 30 all, down 1-3. Certainly doesn't want to go down another break in the third set.
See if he goes for a big one here. Yeah, there it is. Just missed. Top quarter inch of the net.
Ball is called out. Sloss.
Sloss just floated that. That's about the fourth or fifth one. That shot hasn't worked for him all day. I don't even know why he tries it. He should just smack the ball and end the point.
Thought about questioning the call and then thought the better
Nice
of it.
volley down the line. Here comes the floater. He goes up and just pushes it wide, just barely wide.
Close call. Well, Stott holds his serve, and they will change over now. Still, Schloss upper break at 3-2, final set. Back after this. Hey, guess what? Chet Kopic's on the way. Join Chet for an around the horn look at all your favorite local sports in the game room, coverage of your home teams, features, analysis, special guests, and more. Get into the game room weeknights at 7 or before the game, right here on Fox Sports Chicago. Mike Lederman, Corky Layton, set 3 of the singles championship. Aurora Christian, that's John Stott. He is trailing. You're looking right there at Carl Schloss of Stevenson. Split the first 2 sets. Schloss up a break here. A big inside out backhand.
Doesn't use that shot very often, Schloss doesn't, but got away from it there. He's been hammering on Stott's backhand, and I think John Stott was looking for another backhand there. That inside out backhand fooled him. Just caught totally flat-footed.
Stott with an easy 6-2 win the first set. Schloss came back just as easily, 6-1 in the second set. Here's the touch.
Well, he made that volley. Missed one earlier, but he made that one. Well, the story so far has been the person who makes the fewest errors wins the set. And Carl Schloss made a lot of errors in the first set. Stott made a lot of errors in the second set.
Schloss, as you look at John Stott, again, does not have a team to play on at Aurora Christian, so this is his season right here.
Error from Stott.
40 love. Carl Schloss undefeated, looking to complete an unblemished Illinois high school season. He's won 34 matches. Well, a little error there, 40-15. Schloss finished third a year ago. Well, finished 3-4 a year ago, lost in the semifinal to the eventual champion, who on his way beat Stott a couple of rounds earlier. He being Tom Butikoffer of Hinsdale Central. Our congratulations to Jay Kramer and the Red Devils for their state doubles championship this year.
Well, an error on the run from Schloss.
Stott trying to get back in this game, in this set. And looks like we've got equipment.
I think they're looking for the other ball. Oh no, he's changing his. You are right. He's changing his racket.
I don't know if he actually broke a string, but
Sometimes when just before the string's ready to break, the balls start to sail a little bit, and the players can sense that they got to get a new racket.
yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm on the 5-year plan. If it doesn't break within 5 years, I automatically restring.
How often do you play in 5 years, Mike? That's a great passing shot from John Stott. I think Schloss baited him, and Stott went for the shot. Just couldn't get over there to cover it.
Show it to you here as Carl comes over to us.
Big
to retrieve the
serve
ball.
and volley. Good down the line. Baits him and not ready for the... That was a great cross court, though. Just snuck it in there.
All right, so we're at deuce.
Big serve, just long.
Schloss now has gone into one of those periods of his where he seems to have the wheels, if not fall off, and get very shaky. He's gone from 40 love to break point against.
Stott hit an off-speed return to serve there, and Sloss just overhit it. Nice touch.
Well, that's confidence.
Big kick serve. Sloss pulled Stott right off the court. Pretty good recovery on this return, though. Nice down at his feet, but there's Sloss with the touch, half volley, down the line winner.
When you talk about earlier contemporary players not wanting to take risks, I don't think you were talking about this guy.
Big shots at big times in the match.
Break point, he goes. Ooh. Back to deuce. Sloss again working the backhand.
Just going a little too much. Stott's thinking the ball was wide. I don't think so. Well, at this stage of the match with these players, as risky as it may look to us looking from the outside, these guys are totally focused and they only have one shot in mind when they get ready to hit it, and they just take it.
Game point here.
It is wide. Great approach shot by Carl Sloss. Stott going down the line for the open court and just missed wide, barely wide. And they're playing on the outside edges of the court here. Not much room for error. Big backhand. Just maybe 2 inches wide.
All right, so much as he tried to give that one away, Sloss came through and won it. Go up 4-2. Here is a big game for John Stott. Must hold here at 2-4.
Sloss not quite under that underspin backhand. He's trying to keep it low, put the pressure on Stott, but just a little too low, caught the top half inch of the net.
And again, that big serve to the backhand on the ad court doesn't work. And there's a call. The call is out. Or was it?
The linesman called it good. The chair umpire overruled it.
And now Stott wants a clarification. But they give the point to Sloss. Or have they? They called 15 all, no?
I think they I think they gave it to Stott. I think the ball was long. Called by the chair umpire.
Okay, so it's 15 all.
Big first serve. A little bit of a mishit from Carl Sloss, trying to open up that court a little too early. This is where players start to get in trouble. They start to do a little bit extra at the end of their swing, and usually it's probably the wrong decision.
30-15.
The ball is out.
The ball was called deep. Lines person did call it deep. Let's check the scoring because it was 30-15 and Mike Sucker just called a 40-30. It's either 30 all or 40-15. There we go. 30 all. Mike doesn't make many mistakes, but if he does make one, you can see he's very willing to correct himself. All 2-4. Stott serving.
Again, going for that big serve. It's time to the deuce court. Double fault.
Tough time to do it.
He wants to keep Sloss back. Going for a little extra. This is where good players rise to the occasion. We'll see what happens with John Stott here.
Fourth double fault for him.
Miss hit by Sloss. Had the open court, decided to go down the line. Missed it wide, not by much, but it's a game of inches.
And it is deuce. And the big serve from Stott comes through.
One to the deuce court that time.
So a game point here for the sophomore. Still having trouble with that serve to the ad.
Oh, good reactions from both players. Great tennis. Started off, Stott had a short serve. Sloss used it as an approach shot. Coming in, here's his volley. Flips the net. Stott tries to flick it by him. Good reaction from
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom. Hit Stott in the shoulder.
Game of chicken.
Serve called long. I don't want a double fault there. Sloss.
Number 5. Break point for Sloss to go up 5-2.
The wind just kicked up a little bit. I wonder if that bothered John on his toss that last serve.
Well, he got that big one into the forehand that time.
Well, mixing it up, trying to keep Sloss on his toes. John Stott trying to pull out all the stops here. Great touch. Forehand drop volley from Carl Sloss.
Probably one of the prettiest shots in tennis, Corky.
Well executed.
Break point here. Western forehands and two-hand backhands won by Carl Sloss for another break.
Incredible depth and spin by Sloss. Stott was against the fence, and there's almost 20 feet behind that baseline.
Takes it to 5-2. One game from a title.
Well, this one's a little short, and Stott's in the net.
So, on the changeover now, Carl Sloss has the match on his racket. That young man, the sophomore, made it to the round of 16 a year ago. He's in the finals now. Can he pull it out? And can he ice it right here? Carl Sloss. Well, we'd like to remind you the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper network. It is the official newspaper and the official newspapers of the IHSA State Championships. And we welcome the Sun-Times, www.suntimes.com. We are in the third set. You can see first two sets were split rather easily. Stott the first, 6-2. Sloss the second, 6-1. And now with a 5-2 lead here in the third set, Carl Sloss of Stevenson serving out, or what he hopes will be serving out the match, and finishing an undefeated season if he can do it.
Forced error from John Stott. He wants to stay in this match. He can't afford to do things like that. He can take control of this match, but he's going to have to avoid those errors. big serve.
Schloss hitting that kick serve. Taking something off it.
Yeah, pulled Stott almost into the side fence that time.
We almost had a third man in the booth, actually.
And here's Stott on the run. Can't quite. Oh, and there he is.
30
That's long.
What's the call? Ball was an ace.
Oh, I guess they gave it to him.
Ball was an ace. A good time for
Line
him
judge.
for his first one.
Chair umpire, line judge both agree that was in.
Now we have a triple championship point for Carl Schloss.
Go,
For
Carl!
an undefeated season, a state championship.
Little change of pace. Everybody's looking for the cannonball.
It is wide, and that's it. 2-6, 6-1, 6-2. There's your champion, the senior Carl Schloss, undefeated.
You could say Schloss stops Stott.
Not 3 times in a row. But a match that certainly had its ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys, and I'll take one, you'll take one, and I'll give you one back. Carl Schloss coming through with a dominant second and third set. And now the coach can come on.
Brian Wills finally got out of that corner. He was digging a trench over there, pacing back and forth during the match.
There's his dad, Jerry, and congratulations to him and his family for the Schlosses, Mom Annette. And there's your champion from Stevenson High School, Carl Schloss. We'll be back and wrap it up right here at Hersey High School. Stay with us. Finishing an undefeated season with a flourish, Carl Schloss of Stevenson High School with a 2-6, 6-1, 6-2 win over John Stott of Aurora Christian. It was an outstanding match, and we'll show you the Pepsi point of the match, Corky, and it just shows you the ground strokes and just a little finishing volley at the end.
Here's Schloss into the net, and look at this touch.
Oh.
That's incredible. That's great stuff.
Pepsi point of the match. Well, congratulations to our winners today. At this time, Fox Sports Chicago would like to thank H. David Fry and Mary Struckoff of the Illinois High School Association for making this championship event possible. Also, our thanks, as we mentioned, to Larry Travis of Hersey High School for his cooperation coordinating this event. The game has been produced and directed by Jim Corno Jr. for this match. Graphics coordinator Jeff Miller. Remote facilities provided by Trio Video. Coordinating producer Dave Turner. Our senior executive producer at Fox Sports Chicago is Don Graham. Once again, final results: doubles champions Hinsdale Central. For singles, Carl Schloss of Stevenson High School. The individual champion, the singles champion for IHSA boys tennis. For Corky Layton, I'm Mike Lederman saying so long from Hersey High School. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television. So long, everybody.